My just keeping it real moment is you.
Me? Oh,
you.
Wow. See, I ain't even know why I was laughing. But what is your real? What's the real?
I got to keep it real with you real quick.
Okay.
Like, I don't appreciate you.
Oh, wow. That's how you going to start off? What's up, real ones? Welcome back to the Relationship Podcast, where we're bringing the real back to relationships.
Yes, sir.
I'm Asha Steele.
And I'm Devin Steele.
And we're so excited that you're tuning in today with us.
Yeah, man. We got a big announcement this week.
Huge.
A huge announcement.
Major.
Yeah, man. Like we said, we took a long hiatus before we made the episode last week. But we came back strong.
Yes.
And it's all because of y'all. Last week, we ranked the highest we've ever ranked with our podcast. We was number 6.
Number 6,
in
y'all.
the kids and family category, in the number 1 relationship marriage podcast overall, man.
Yes,
so we
yes.
owe y'all
Woo!
a huge share. Go ahead, clap it up for them.
Let's go, you
Yeah.
guys. We appreciate it so much.
We owe y'all a huge thank you, man,
Yes.
because that was big. Just taking off that long of a break. Like you said, we dropped out of the top 200.
We was non-existent.
Y'all wasn't even listening. It wasn't nothing to listen to. But yeah, man, we came back strong, and we just thank y'all for continually supporting this podcast,
Yes.
sharing it with your friends and family, and you know, leaving your reviews on Apple has been huge and just helping us get the podcast out there. So again, a huge thank you to all our listeners, our viewers, all our real ones.
Yes, we appreciate you guys. So before we get into today's episode, we got a few things going on. But first and foremost, we have our just keeping it real moment.
Yeah. I got something for that. My just, why you laugh?
Because you're hilarious.
My just keeping it real moment is you.
Me? Oh,
You.
wow. See, I ain't even know why I was laughing. But what is your real? What's the real?
I got to keep it real with you real quick.
Okay.
Like, I don't appreciate you.
Oh, wow. That's how you going to start off?
Coming out here looking this beautiful. Right?
Oh, my
Like,
goodness.
no,
I
listen
can't
to
with
me.
you.
No, y'all gotta feel me on this. Like, if you watch this podcast, you know that you have been seeing me wear a fitted lately, right?
Okay.
And the only reason why I will wear a fitted at 31 years old when I'm recording a
Exactly.
podcast is because I ain't got a haircut. Like, I ain't got a haircut.
I can't with
Ain't
you.
had a haircut in 11 months because of COVID. You know, I can't go to the barber because we got a little baby, a newborn. And Leah has, you know, a health history. So I can't go to the barbershop because I don't want to put them at risk. So I've been cutting my hair, if you want to call it that.
I've been assisting.
Yeah, she's been damaging my hairline. She's been damaging my
You're
hairline.
lying.
So I haven't been able to get a haircut. So when we do the podcast, it's like, all right, just throw on the fitted. You know what I mean? My beard, y'all see, it's trying to grow back because I had one of my moments. You know how women go through their moment, they cut their hair off. I had one of my moments and I cut my beard off. So now I'm trying to grow it back. So I'm over here looking real scruffy. And you come out here looking like you about to audition for Rush Hour 4 or something. Like, I don't understand. You come out here talking about, are you ready? No, I'm not ready. Like, look at me.
You know what? But
I
you
gotta
look
fit it
good,
in the
babe.
No, you
You got
supposed to
the
say that.
rugged look going on, you know.
I don't want
fitted.
the rugged look. I want to look.
That's sexy, though.
And whatever, man.
You know?
No.
The
So-
quarantine sexiness. The sex
You see that
appeal.
I'm not cutting my hair no more. I'm not shaping up my beard until I'm able to go back to the barbershop. It is what it is.
But you know, just being in the house, I know for me, I know ladies, if y'all feel me out there, let me know. But you be wanting to like just spice it up a little bit, right?
And I can't spice it up. Yo, you a hairstylist. You can spice it up and it looks good. I ain't a barber. I try to spice it up, line myself up. It look trash.
Well, if I'm spicing
I gotta
up,
put tea tree oil and what's the other oil on my
Castor
hairline?
oil.
Castor oil to try to make my hairline grow back, my
it's
beard
okay,
grow
babe.
back.
Don't do me like that.
No.
I be helping you out. But you know, if I'm trying to
call
spice
it
it up,
help.
I'm spicing it up for you too. You get to enjoy all this eye candy and whatever. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Like I said, I'm keeping it real.
Okay, you know what? I wasn't ready for that. But okay, that's your moment. That's your moment. I'm gonna let you have that. But before we get into the podcast, you know, the topic of today, we wanted to, have a little fun. You
Yeah,
came up with
because
this little fun, creative idea.
last episode was real serious.
Yes, it was. But we wanted to, go on a lighter note and just, get excited, get ready for the holidays, enjoy each other, enjoy you guys. So
we got
a little idea you came up with.
Yeah, we got a little game we're gonna play. And what's at stake is a foot massage tonight.
And I'm needing it.
Yeah, so am I.
Parts.
I just ran the bleachers at a stadium. Like, I'm hurting right now.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna need this foot massage. So we got a little game
and
that
I'm
we're
ready.
gonna play. No, I gotta tell them the game first.
Oh, okay. Look, right. I'm ready to go.
So it is a theme song contest. Mm-hmm. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play theme songs to some of the top shows out there, I guess you would say, growing up, the shows that you watch when you was growing up. We're going to play the theme songs and see if the other person can guess what show that theme song is from. We got 3 of them each. All right. So whoever gets the most right wins. And this is being recorded, so don't try to cheat.
You don't try to cheat because we know how you get down.
I'm not going to cheat.
Okay.
So ladies first, go ahead and play your your first theme song and make sure you put it up to the mic so the people can hear it. See if they can guess it. Listen, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you can guess it before one of us does, put it inside of the comments.
Okay. You ready? Are we gonna go like back and forth?
Yes, you go first.
Okay.
Come on, man.
Okay. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh my gosh. You two got ass. Okay.
See, she ain't prepared. I done skipped all the abs already. I'm ready. I came prepared. That's how I know I'm gonna win. What in the...
Come and knock on our door. We've been waiting for you.
I know the show I don't... Come and knock on our door. Come and knock on our door. We'll be waiting for you. Oh, 2 is company or something.
We need a timer.
No, 2 is company.
No, 2 is not company.
Something's company.
You need to get it right. You can't get it halfway right.
3 is company.
3 is company what?
That's the name of the show.
No, it's not.
What is it?
3 is companies too.
No, absolutely not. That's
you get a half point. You get a half point.
No, absolutely not. Like, come on now. You can't do that.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Oh, always cheating.
I'll give it to you. You ain't gonna get the rest of them though.
All right, I'm gonna throw you out. I'm gonna throw you out an easy one on the first one. All right.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Another slice of the life of Master T.J. Henderson. Super intelligent, a fine young gentleman.
Hey.
A 10-year-old whiz kid, bust a high school. A pugnacious little shorty with 1,000 IQ. He's got away with the ladies and he's keeping it real. Your favorite little study buddy, he knows the deal. Daddy's such
Smart
a
guy.
kid. On the ball, very...
Go to your next one.
Okay.
Why you sitting there looking all confused like you ain't know what it was at first?
This is from like the 90s. I gotta like let my brain register. It's all the way 2020.
I thought I had you. You look so confused.
Okay. Let's see.
All right, so 1-1.
It's not about to be 1-1 though. I know you're not gonna get this. Okay.
You typing it in? Like, come on, man.
Okay,
You
okay.
ain't ready. You ain't ready. I'm gonna win.
These ads. Okay.
She was working in
Come
a
on,
bridal
bro.
shop in Flushing, Queens, till her boyfriend kicked her out in one of those crushing scenes. What was she to do? Where was she to go? She was out on her fanny. So over the bridge from Flushing to the Sheffield's door, she was there to sell makeup, but the father saw more. She had style.
I don't know, but I've never watched that show before. So Golden Girls?
No, but it's a very popular show.
What is it?
The Nanny Named Fran.
The who?
The Nanny Named Fran.
Never heard of it. If you never heard of it, drop it in the comments right now because she's cheating.
The Nanny. You never heard of The Nanny?
Listen to me. I have never in my life.
You never saw this? Look. You never saw her? Not her. Her?
Friend, yes. I didn't know the name was the nanny named Fran, but I remember her because her voice be sounding crazy. Okay. All right, so I don't think I'm gonna give you.
No, don't try to give me.
I'm
gonna
switch
hard.
it up. No, I'm gonna give you one right now. Okay. If you don't get this one, I'll keep the last one. Just because I want you to win. I want to rub your feet. Okay, I want you to feel good. So I'm gonna give you one hard one. See if you can get it.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
It's an eclectic funny bone. They just won't leave you alone while you're sitting inside your home.
Oh my goodness. Why?
What's your answer?
Why is it on the tip of my tongue?
Let's go. I got this one.
Dang, what is it?
10 seconds. 10. 9.
I don't know. I can't think of it.
You pass?
Yeah.
Malcolm and Eddie.
I would never. No.
So you just said it was at the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, but like the theme song, but I would have never remembered the name.
Okay.
No.
Let's go. So it's both. We both.
Why would you
one.
pick that?
What you mean? Who didn't watch Malcolm and Eddie? Are you kidding me right now? Yeah, act like you ain't watched Malcolm and Eddie. Stop
I don't
playing.
even know if I watched that show, to be honest. I'm about to give you something hard stuff.
But I'm gonna give you something easy, so don't do that.
We might have to make this like 5 next time.
If we tied, then we just gonna have to do a tiebreaker.
Okay, let's see.
And I'm switching it up because I think you gonna know this one.
Yeah, sure.
So go ahead, give me one.
Oh my goodness.
Come on,
do you have any ads? Okay.
Oh, I know what that is because I was gonna give you that one.
What?
7 Heaven. Let's go. I was gonna give you that one. Let's go. And I was just about to look that one up too.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I should have gave you something like
I'm not gonna make it hard for you. You gave me an easy one, so I'm gonna respect that. I'm gonna give you the one that I was originally gonna give you, and then maybe we'll have to do a tiebreaker.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Sometimes in this life you can feel all by yourself.
Check 1, 2.
But I have a partner when I can't you know what needs. So don't isolate yourself when there's nobody around. I'll be there to think of it.
What is it? You know it. Stop playing like you don't know it.
Dang,
You were just singing the whole thing.
I don't know the song and I don't know the name of it.
I take my foot massage then.
Hold on. Dang.
You can close your eyes all you want to. I just knew this was like a gimme. Like I was handing you in it. I was handing it to you.
Play the rest of it.
No. You got 10 seconds, ma'am. 10.
Oh, I don't know. I can't.
9.
It's not registered.
I'm going to give you all your 10 seconds. 8. 7.
I can't.
6.
I can't do it.
5. 4. 3. Where the confetti at? 2. 1. Let me play it. Hold on. I'm going to play the rest for you.
Oh, gosh. And it's on Netflix. I can't.
Let's go.
I'm so old of me because I really used to watch that show. That's why I was like really
did.
right there.
Everybody did. Let's go.
You suck. I guess I gotta rub your nasty feet.
That's okay. These nasty feet made me a lot of money in this lifetime. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
Anywho. So, getting into today's topic.
I want some coconut oil on it too.
You know
and
what?
like get in between my toes.
Ew.
What you mean?
Just thinking about it. Ugh. Okay, but no, getting back to today's topic, you guys, we are discussing the 4 horsemen, right?
Yep.
So tell them what the 4 horsemen is.
Yeah, so there's these 2 prominent relationship experts that are, world renowned. They're highly regarded, especially in the United States. Their name is John and Julie Gottman. They are a married couple. Like I said, they're relationship experts. They do a lot of relationship research, and they have a book, or John Gottman has a book out called The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work. And within that book, they talk about, predictors of divorce. Like, they're able to predict the end of a relationship. And one of the ways that they're able to do this is by using the 4 horsemen, which is a communication styles that they see in relationships that they can predict whether a relationship is going to last or not. And just to go off the top of it, the 4 of them, one is criticism, the next is contempt, the next is defensiveness, and the last one is stonewalling. So what we want to do with this episode, like we said before, the reason why we started this podcast or this community is because we wanted to educate people on how to have a successful relationship. So we want to use this episode to go over the 4 horsemen so that you can see if you see those in your relationship now, especially if you're able to catch them early on and stop your relationship from ending, stop your marriage and from divorcing just by using the solutions to these 4 different horsemen. So
right.
I'm excited to, share this episode with you guys because, like I said, I think it's going to help out a lot of relationships, just educate y'all on, what to look for in your relationship, because I know that this book, this is what this book looks like. Like I said, it's called The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work, and it's very insightful. And I think that this part of the book, has really helped us in our marriage, just, fix some of the issues that we were having. So
Yeah.
let's jump into it.
Yes. So, like you said, the first horseman is criticism. And a lot of couples actually experience this in their relationship.
Yeah.
We experience this a lot in our relationship as well. And pretty much they kind of describe it as, or compare it to having criticism and complaining, right?
Yeah, criticism versus complaining.
Right. So in your relationship, criticism actually damages your relationship, right? Because sometimes the person feels like they're being attacked, you're attacking them, versus complaining about something that's going on, right? And so they said that there is 3 levels basically to complaining, right? And so the first thing is you expressing how you feel, how I feel. The next one is you specifically targeting something that is a situation or issue or problem that you're talking about, addressing that specifically head on. And then the last one is what you need or what you want or what you prefer from that situation, right? So with us, pretty much how I broke it down for our relationship is, with us experiencing criticism, a lot of times it would be how I approach or how you approach the situation, right? If something's bothering you. So say, just as an example, if I felt like Devin wasn't, helping me out around the house, right? You wasn't helping me with cleaning, and I'm just like overwhelmed with, school, work, taking care of Ari, the house, whatever the case may be, and I need assistance because I feel like I'm trying to juggle a whole bunch of things at one time, right? If I come to you and I'm like, Devin, I asked you to, do the dishes. I'm always asking you for help. You never help me. Like, I'm now criticizing you because I'm using words like you never, you always, you don't do this, that, and the third. So it's like I'm actually attacking you personally, right, versus attacking the situation, where it's like, oh, when you get the time, I feel like I'm overloaded. So when you get the time, could you wash the dishes for me? I would really appreciate that. Right?
Yeah.
So that would be complaining versus the first example, which would be criticism, because it's how you approach the situation, right? So a lot of times when you go into a relationship, when you feel like the person that you're with isn't necessarily hearing what you're saying, it's because maybe you're coming from a place of criticism, which causes them to feel, attacked. And we'll go into how that leads into the other horsemen. But because of them feeling attacked, it causes more issues, right?
Yeah.
Versus you complaining about something that you have a problem with and that you want done. You're coming from a different perspective, right? You're coming from a more, calm demeanor, of what you need done, how I feel, using the words like I to take, the basically to take the heat off of that individual, to make it seem like it's about you're doing so much wrong, and what I need, how I need your help, how we can work on this, how you can assist me, so that you're approaching the conversation from a different perspective, right?
Yeah, I think this one is very important because, like you said, majority of relationships have criticism in it. Criticism really becomes an issue when it's frequent, when it happens all the time, because this one horseman can lead to the more deadlier horseman that we're going to talk about later. But I think it's just so important to be able to decipher between criticism and complaining. Like growing up, we always heard that constructive criticism is good, but no form of criticism is good, because like Asha said, you're not attacking the problem, but you're attacking the person, right? And what I want to say on this is, I forgot what was I going to say? Criticism, but like Asha said, there's no such thing as constructive criticism, but there is a such thing as constructive complaining. And when you think about complaining to your partner, it has to be broken down into 3 parts, right? Constructive complaining consists of 3 parts. The first part is explaining to your partner how you feel, right? How do you feel about a certain situation that happened? The next part of it is to make sure you tell that person what that action was that they did that made you feel that way. And the third part is you want to tell that person what they can do to now alleviate the problem, how they can fix the problem. And I think that this was very important because, like Asha said, we, like many people, many relationships, dealt with a lot of criticism in the beginning of our relationship, definitely before we read this book and we learned that we were handling conflicts the wrong way. So you just want to make sure that whenever a conflict arises in your relationship, you want to complain to your partner and you don't want to criticize them. The second one is contempt, which is similar to criticism, but it's more deadly. It's actually the worst of the 4 horsemen and the number one predictor of divorce, the end of a relationship. And the reason why that is because when you have contempt in your relationship, you're communicating from a place of anger and disgust with the person. It's really like you're coming from a place of superiority.
Right.
Like you're talking down on them. And there's many different types of contempt. One is sarcasm, name calling, mimicking, body language, eye rolling, sneering. These are the most prevalent forms of contempt. And I feel like I won't say we, but me, I feel like I struggled a lot with contempt.
I feel like both of us did.
Yeah, as I was reading this book, it just really opened up my eyes a lot to some of the things that I was doing wrong. And when I say that, I was exhibiting contempt a lot, is because one of the things that I often did was if I had a problem with something, I wouldn't say anything about it, right? And it would just keep building up. Like issues would just keep building up because I wasn't saying anything. I wasn't getting stuff off my chest, out of my heart. So when an issue arose, it was like I'm already filled to the top.
Right.
And it's like when I start explaining myself to Asha, I'm just saying everything that happened.
Yeah.
Like if one issue happened one day, I'll start bringing up stuff that was similar to that issue from weeks ago, from months ago. And I should be like, why didn't you say this when it happened? Like, why is it just like you're coming at me about all these different things when this was our only issue today? Right. So it felt like I was attacking her instead of attacking the issue. And that's why I say it's similar to criticism, because then I would start saying stuff like, oh, you always do this, you never do that. When that's basically coming at that person. That's a trait of the person instead of, addressing the issue at hand, which we've been able to work through, but it was tough. And I think that it was very important for us to learn about that early on, because like I said, it's one of the most predictable a horseman for divorce in the end of a relationship.
Yeah. I feel like from my perspective, it's more so like the look of disgust
Yeah.
or just irritation. Like I'll notice like even when we be having like a heated argument or whatever, going back and forth, and you'll be like saying something about my facial expressions.
Yeah.
Or like if I'm staring,
she got them facial expressions,
the
bro.
death
Like she just
stare.
be looking in the mirror practicing her facial expressions.
Or like just like how your body language, like your demeanor, like just like the huffing and like, are you done yet? Like certain things that you say, like sarcasm, just like to just be combative when you're in a confrontation or whatever. So I had to like really start to acknowledge that. And I know a couple times you're like, do I need to put like a mirror in front of your face? Because I would swear that I'm not doing it. But it's like
Way she be rolling her eyes look like the Undertaker. I'm like, come on, how you not like knowing you so doing this?
Natural, like when you're like just mad and you're like fuming and you're trying to prove your point, just like everything built up. You don't even pay attention to how you're delivering the message, but I feel like it definitely does, because like that person is taking all of that in, and it's just like, okay, well, you're looking at me like this, you're coming at me like this, and things are processing in a negative aspect instead of y'all trying to resolve something just because of something as little as your facial expression or something that you say. So I think that's definitely something that I had to acknowledge and start to work on as well.
When I was exhibiting contempt in our relation, how did it make you feel? Like when somebody comes at you for not the issue that you're dealing with that day, but just for everything, how does it make you feel as a person?
To be honest, especially when it's your partner, it makes you feel like not adequate almost. You know, it's like I'm trying
like
to
you don't
live
measure up to what that
I'm
person
trying
wants.
to live up and measure up to something that's like, I don't even know. I don't even think you know, because it's just like you said, like you're sitting up here piling on a whole bunch of things that doesn't even have to do with, you know, the issue at hand. Like, and it could be something so simple like, oh, you know, and this is just me giving examples again, but like say if your partner is like, oh, you know, they want the trash taken out or something like that, right? Yeah. And it's just like, oh, you always forget to take out the trash. Trash day comes and now we're sitting here with a pile of trash, right? But now today you forgot to, you know, take the pet to the vet or whatever the case may be. So now on top of what you didn't do and what is so much of a problem for this person and you're constantly bringing up, now you're going to throw on the trash issue, even though it ain't trash day, because you didn't take the pet. You know what I mean? So it's just like everything starts to snowball and cave in on you, and you're just like, dang, well, am I that horrible of a person?
Yeah.
Because you coming at me from all types of ways.
And you maybe thought it was all good because I never brought it up
right,
to you.
because
so it's like you think
nothing's
nothing's wrong. So then when it all hits the fan, it's like, whoa,
yeah,
where's this coming from?
Exactly. So that's why I think it, like you said, it is really important to attack the situation at hand versus you just trying to attack, or not even attack, but just addressing the situation at hand, like one thing at a time as you experience it versus putting everything together, because then that causes way more of an issue than it has to be.
Yeah. And if you are experiencing contempt in your relationship, we got good news. Although it is the number one predictor of the end of a relationship, the end of divorce, there are solutions to help fixing it. And we're a prime example that there are ways to help fix contempt in your relationship. And one of the solutions to fixing contempt in your relationship is building a culture of appreciation and respect in your relationship. Excuse me. And the way that you're able to build that type of culture is to look for ways to express your appreciation and your gratitude towards your partner. Like just find ways throughout the day to really just uplift your partner. And if they do something for you, thank them for it. Because sometimes when you're in a relationship, you take a lot of things for granted when you've been in a relationship for a long time. And we actually had a chance to interview John and Julie Gottman, which we're going to release to y'all on our Patreon, which is a very insightful interview that we had with them. But she talked about the importance of being able to show that appreciation, gratitude, and respect in your relationship. They've been together, I believe, for over 40 years. And she said that every day, her husband, John, makes them coffee every morning. And every morning for 40 years, she made sure that she said thank you every single morning that he made her a cup of coffee, because like I said, as time goes on, you start to take those small things for granted.
Yeah.
And another way that you're able to really build that culture is something that they call the magic ratio. And I spoke about this before on the podcast, which is the 5-to-1 ratio. For every negative interaction you have as a couple, you want to make sure that you have 5 positive interactions. And why this is so important is because each of those positive interactions is like making a deposit into your emotional bank account, right? The more you keep putting into the bank account, when you have that negative interaction with your partner, you're not going into the negative.
Right.
You're not overdrafting your account because you've poured so much positive affirmations into your relationship that having one negative interaction won't feel like, is this relationship worth it? Because I don't feel worthy in this relationship. So if you're experiencing contempt in your relationship, you gotta make sure that you build that culture of appreciation, gratitude, and respect, because you have to focus on this one, because this one is the most deadliest horseman of them all. So it's very important to make sure you do everything you can to rid this out of your relationship.
Yeah. So the third horseman is defensiveness. And I know a lot of couples, especially us as well, have experienced defensiveness.
Little Matumbo over here, defensive player of the year.
Definitely, a lot of people have experienced this, and they pretty much summarize it as, you know, bringing on the victim role, right? Yeah. So say if your partner is telling you something that, you know, is concerning them or that they find an issue or a problem, you automatically get in defensive mode and play the victim role, right? So it's just like, oh, you're targeting or pointing out this, but what about all this stuff that I did, right?
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that I have done that as well. With just like, you know, because it's just like it seems as though they're forgetful in that moment, right? So it's like the person is coming at you, my husband, whoever, y'all out there is coming at you with something, and you're just like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, okay, well, what about what I did yesterday? Or what about this? Or what about that? All of that overrides your issue at hand right now, and that's you getting in defensive mode instead of you taking accountability for your actions and being like, you know what, you're right. This should have been done. This should have been handled. I could have done this differently and move forward, right? Because automatically once you go into defensive mode, then that causes the other person to get in defensive mode. Now y'all, you know, being combative, and that doesn't resolve anything. Yeah. So you definitely have to take accountability for your actions once you feel that coming on, right?
Yeah. And I think that in order to avoid the defensiveness is making sure that you're not criticizing, but you're complaining. Right?
Being specific.
Yeah, being specific. Let the person know that you're not coming at them, but you're coming from a place of understanding. Like, let's keep the example of the trash thing. So let's say that you have an issue with your husband or your man not taking out the trash, or forgetting to take out the trash one day. Instead of coming to him like, oh, I asked you to take out the trash, you never do what I asked you to do. It's like, you lead with I, right? They have something in a book called Leading with I, which is basically saying, I understand that you were very busy today, but we had discussed you taking out the trash for the trash pickup this morning, and you didn't do it. Next time, can you let me know, or can you make sure that you take the trash out in time so they can pick it up? Right. So you're starting off telling the person, I understand that you have a lot on your plate, or I understand that you were busy, but can you do this for me? That way, if that person won't get defensive, because they know that you know that they may have forgotten to do it, instead of you just saying you never do what I asked you to do.
Right. It's all about how you approach the situation, I feel like, because words and your tone of word has power, right? Yeah. And something as small as the way you tell somebody to do something or ask somebody to do something could be misconstrued and blow up to something else by just the way that you say it. So yeah, that's very important as well.
What solution do they give in the book for overcoming defensiveness in your relationship?
Well, pretty much it talks about taking responsibility. Like if you're going into a situation and you know that you're most likely at fault for what the person is bringing to you, then take ownership for what you're experiencing. Take responsibility for that and acknowledge it, that, you know, this is what I'm doing, and handling it from there.
Yeah.
Versus you constantly getting up the defense mode and being like, okay, like I said with the example before, oh, you say you didn't do this. Well, what about when I clean the dishes? Right? You didn't take out the trash. Well, I took out the trash last week. Well, it's a whole new week. Like, well, what about when I did the dishes? You didn't clean the dishes. So you start to go back and forth, and that's all the defense you're putting up, instead of you being like, you know what? You're right. I was overwhelmed. I apologize. My mistake. It won't happen again. I'll work on it. Right?
Yeah.
So you taking accountability for your actions instead of you putting on that defensive front and it causing more of an issue.
Yeah. So the last one, the last horseman, is called stonewalling, which occurs when somebody completely withdraws from the conflict discussion
This guy
and
right
no longer
here.
responds to their partner.
Yes.
Yes, I do and still do. I tried to focus on not doing it as much now since we read this, but I did do a lot of
the champion
stonewalling.
of stonewalling.
Oh, here we go. You trying to make jokes
The
because I
champ
called you.
is here.
No,
Yes.
but what's interesting about this is that mainly men suffer from this, right? Mainly men suffer from stonewalling in relationship. In fact, they said that 85% of men in heterosexual relationships are the ones who do the stonewalling. And their reason for saying that, which is very interesting, there's scientific evidence for the reason why men are usually the stonewallers, completely blew my mind. So what they said was, back in the day, a lot of women were in charge of raising and nurturing their kids, right? And in order to be able to breastfeed the baby, and you can attest to this because you breastfeed, you produce the most milk when you're relaxed, in a relaxed and soothing state.
Right.
So in order for their children to survive, women had to learn how to soothe themselves and put themselves in a calmer state so that so that they can feed their baby, so that they survived. And that completely blew me away, because what that's called is natural selection, where basically you pass things on through generation and generation for survival. And men were the exact opposite. They took on a totally different natural selection, in which ours was, we were cooperative hunters, right? So in order to be able to go out and, you know, hunt and protect our family, we had to have our adrenaline ready to go at any moment. And we needed to be able to have these high levels of adrenaline pumping through our body so that we were able to hunt the best. And the people who were able to really tap into that adrenaline fast and be able to make it last longer were the ones who caught the most food, were the ones who survived the longest. And like I said, that was part of our natural selection, so that continued to be passed down.
Right.
So men are more inept to be at high levels, right? And it's harder for us to calm down. And that doesn't go for every man in every relationship, because I know there's some men out there like, yo, I'm the chill one. My wife or my girl, she be tripping. She be go from 0 to 100 real quick, right? But for the majority of people, this is the natural selection. Like, women are easy, are able to get down to a calm state faster than men, which was pretty crazy. Like Asha said, it's something that I really dealt with in our relationship. And one of the reasons why people resort to stonewalling is because they feel flooded, right? Or emotionally overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And what I mean by flooded is, let's say that you getting off work and you walk into the door, and the first thing your lady say is like, oh, you didn't do this, that, and the third. Or I asked you to go to the grocery store before you came home, you forgot to go. And then she just starts throwing a barrage of criticism and complaints at you. And then you get into that fight or flight mode where you just like, what do I do?
Right.
So then you just shut down and tune that person out. And that was something that I did a lot. Sorry, I'm sorry
Yeah.
to tune you out, but she used to be just coming at me, just be flooding me with stuff. And I just be like, I'm not trying to hear that. Like, come to me at another time.
Yeah.
Or come to me with one problem. Don't just hit me with a bunch of stuff, because then I don't even want to talk anymore, because I feel like we're not getting anywhere. But I've had to work on this a lot, and I've been able to better control it, because one thing that I learned in order to fight against stonewalling is just being able to call a timeout, right? The term that they used in it was physiological self-soothing, which basically is during an argument or some type of conflict discussion, if you see things getting out of control or you feel like you're about to shut down, tell your partner, say, hey, I feel like you're just coming at me with a bunch of stuff, and I want to get through this conversation, but can we just take a break real quick?
Yeah.
So that
I feel
can,
like we've been working on that.
yeah, we do that a lot. It's like, can we just call a timeout
Yeah.
so that I can walk away, calm myself down, do some type of activity that helps me get into a calmer state, and then we can reconvene and try to handle this issue, so we're not coming at each other, but we're actually trying to find a solution to the problem.
Yeah. I think that's probably been like the biggest thing that I feel like has brought a lot of progress in how we communicate and resolve issues. Just because, like, when you get to that moment of a heated discussion, it's going to go one or two ways, right?
Yeah.
And usually it's going to go the negative way, because now y'all just going at each other. And it seems like y'all not even looking for a resolution at that point,
Yeah.
right?
Y'all just trying to see who can win the argument.
Right. Like, it's like a screaming match. And I think that was the biggest thing for us, to help us be able to resolve issues in a calm manner and actually hear each other out and remove ourselves from situations so it doesn't escalate to something else, was being able to be like, you know what, acknowledging and owning and seeing it before it happens. Like, you know what, this isn't going to go in a good direction right now. I'm starting to get a little irritated, defensive, something is bothering me. We're not hearing each other. It's not processing the way that it should. So let's just, digress and come back to the conversation after, we cool off and think about the situation at hand, right? And I think that's been very big and very helpful in our relationship.
Yeah, and I think sometimes, tones of the conversation are going to be a little harsh, especially if you're talking about a sensitive topic. But I think it's very important to hear what the person is saying and not necessarily hear how they're saying it, right? Just understanding that person may be upset, but try to listen to the message and what they're saying, and convey to them that you hear what they're saying, because that may put them into a calmer state. Yeah. Like, okay, I don't need to yell at this person because they actually hear what I'm saying. So it's a lot of different ways that you can try to fix this stonewalling. But the most important one is just to be able to call a timeout. Yeah. Give each other a break to calm down. And like I said, reconvene where you feel like you're in a calmer state so that you can handle these problems. Because the last thing you want to do is attack the person instead of attacking the problem.
Yeah. And another solution to that, and not to be, a shameless plug or anything, but something that we had brought to you guys as well with the heart boxes. And we use shameless plug. But no, I think it's really helpful, especially with stonewalling, just because, the concept of having a heart box. So it's basically whatever's on your heart at that moment that you want to express, but you feel like maybe the time is not right. You don't want to get into an argument. You don't want to get into a back and forth discussion about it, but you want to be able to express how you feel in that moment. So if you jot down, something that's bothering you at that moment that's on your heart, jot it down on a piece of paper and put it inside that box. So now your partner, when they have the free time, they're passing by or whatever, can check and pull out that note at their, own discretion and read it and process it. Yeah. So now by, this may happen 9 a.m. in the morning, and then 9 at night before y'all go to bed. It's like, you know what? I saw your letter in the heart box, you want to discuss it, right? So now that you don't have to worry about, okay, it's 9 o'clock. He's on the way out the door. He may be stressed out, or I may be stressed out. And then I decide that I want to bring up this, argument or this problem, and it ruins your day or my day, or it starts your day off bad. And now it's something else. Right. So to avoid that, I feel like the heart box has been, and just getting the feedback from people as well, from our real ones as well, that purchased it and us, it helps for you to be able to go into a conversation or an issue that you may have at like a calm level of understanding, and it allows for each person to process things on their own time without having to worry about, getting into an argument about it.
Yeah. Since we learned about the Four Horsemen, what is the biggest change you've seen in me?
The biggest change I would want to say, besides the stonewalling, I think the contempt is the biggest thing. Just throwing out, like you said before, issues on top of issues, right? Because it could be, and a lot of times it's not even like issues that are a big deal, right?
Yeah.
It's like little things that add up. And then once you get that big issue that you're really irritated about, now you want to throw in all the little things. It's like you swept everything under the rug, right? And it's just like eventually you going to end up, you walking over it, but you're going to end up tripping and being like, you know what, let me lift this rug up and sweep everything out. And so I feel like that was the biggest thing, because it was just like constantly putting things under the rug until it was just like, I can't take it no more, right? And so that causes so much more problems because, like you said, it leads into other things. It leads into the defensiveness. It leads into, the stonewalling. It's just like everything starts to play off of each other.
Right.
And you're not attacking an issue head on, because usually when you do that, and it's just like you have all of these things thrown at you, you're not sitting down and being like, you know what, okay, let's go over the first issue.
Right.
Let's tackle that. Okay, now let's go over the second issue that you're addressing. At that point, the person who's feeling all that rage and that's upset about everything and that's coming at you with all these issues, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to go over the list of, okay, how can we resolve this? Like, they just want to get it out.
Yeah.
Because they so stressed out about it. And then you're the person receiving it. It's just like in that defensive mode, because it's just like, whoa, where is this coming from? So it's just like it causes for a bad situation, because you just have so much going on, and it's just very heavy, argument, discussion, and it doesn't resolve anything. So I feel like just being able to realize that, acknowledge that, and be like, you know what, let me tackle one thing at a time. Let me address this issue as it comes. If I see something, or if I have a problem with something at this moment, I'm going to address it, versus waiting 2 weeks and now I'm going to bring it up with something else, right? And I think that's been the biggest change that I've seen within you that has helped our relationship, because it allows for us to actually process things and resolve things.
Yeah. I think the biggest one for you was learning to complain instead of criticize. And I think that's big for a lot of men. I think that'll help with a lot of men, because just to be honest, to keep it real, I feel like a lot of times when men have disagreements with their wives, their girlfriends, whatever your title may be, we feel like women sort of talk in circles. Right? Like, y'all don't just get to the point and tell us what we did wrong. Like, it's like y'all build up to it. Yeah, y'all build up to it. And man, we got to work on having better patience. But it's like, sometimes you just be sitting there like, come on, like, tell me what I did wrong. Tell me how it made you feel. And then tell me what I can do to make it better. Right. But instead, y'all give the whole background story, and
you better listen and not act like you're not interested.
And then we just be like, oh man. But you came to me and would tell me like, look, this is how I feel. This is what you did. This is what I need you to do to fix it. Right. Like, you didn't just come at me with a bunch of different stuff. And I think that just understanding, like, hearing exactly what you needed me to change about myself helped me do it. Because now I'm not sitting here guessing, all right, well, she just told me how I made her feel and all this. What does she want me to do to make it better? Right. You tell me, so then I can go ahead and start working on, correcting those behaviors, so that we don't, have criticism, or we don't have as many disagreements in our relationship.
Right. Yeah. I think that just reading the book and just learning about the Four Horsemen, like, it was very eye-opening, right? Because it put a name to something that I feel like a lot of couples experience, and they don't know how to, necessarily pinpoint what it is. And it causes so much of tension and just, which causes divorce or separation, because it's like you just trying to figure out what is this? What is this nagging, bothering thing that's, you know, causing so much disruption in our relationship. So being able to have a name for it, to acknowledge it, and to have a resolution for it, I think is really big, and it was very eye-opening for us. And I think it would be very eye-opening for a lot of our viewers as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because you always hear you can't heal what you're not willing to reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you can't reveal something because you don't even know how to express what you're feeling.
Right.
You don't know how to express what's going on in your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So having these 4 horsemen to really give you a name for the issues that you're facing in your relationship then allows you to attack each one of them. So I think that this was a very helpful book. What we thinking about doing now with our podcast, because a lot of it we just be talking to talk, but we really want to educate you guys. And I think that there's a lot of great things inside this book. Again, the book is called The 7 Principles for Making Marriage Work by John Gottman. So we're going to share a lot of the principles that are in this book so that we can definitely work on our marriage, but help you also work on your relationships or work on your marriage. And as we said in the beginning of the episode, once we completed this book, once we read it and we saw the transformation that it helped us have in our relationship, we reached out to the author and we had a chance to interview him and his wife. And when I tell you that they were dropping gems in this interview, things that can really help take your marriage to the next level, take your relationship to the next level, like, it was one of the best interviews that I ever did, or that we ever did.
And these are experts, okay?
Yeah, like we told y'all, we're not the experts, but we have access to the experts. So we're going to continue to reach out to people that we think can give not only y'all, but us the insight on having a strong relationship. So like we said, in the new year, we're going to be dropping our Patreon, where we're going to have these expert interviews coming on, which we think is going to help a lot of people. And our next, I think the next interview we're doing is with Devon Franklin and Megan Good. They wrote the book, The Wait, the importance of waiting to have sex before marriage, which we thought would be great to have them on, because a lot of people asked us, and they did this during our Bible study last week, about what do we think about waiting before marriage.
Right.
We didn't practice that. All right. We had sex. We had lots of sex before marriage. So we feel like it'll be pretty hypocritical of us to tell you what you should do before marriage, because we didn't experience that on our own.
Right.
But we know a couple that did. So we're going to bring them on to the podcast so they can talk about their experience with waiting before marriage and how it really helped them have a strong marriage.
Yes. I'm excited for that. So you guys, that concludes this episode. We hope that y'all enjoyed it. Like,
make sure y'all rate and review. Come on now. Let's get this thing to number 1.
We trying to get up. We're climbing the charts, and it's all because of you guys. Like we said, we appreciate you guys. We love, and thank y'all so much for the support. Make sure y'all keep rating and commenting and giving us all the feedback that we can possibly get, because we appreciate you guys, right? And so until next time, you guys, keep it real.
Yes, sir.